Hey guys, welcome back to my video. It's been a while. Well, I have some breaking news. So, I just switched from RobinHood to Charles Schwab. Now, here's a disclaimer. If you guys are watching this video, I'm not a financial advisor, financial analyst, anything to do with finances. So, if you choose to take my advice, which you shouldn't, but if you do, don't blame me, okay? Anyways, so if you guys are curious about switching from a certain brokerage to another, or if you're like me, if you want to switch from Robinhood to Charles Schwab, stay tuned, watch this whole video because I have some really good information, and I'm also going to share my experience on why I'm doing this. Now, we all know what's going on at these times, right? We all know what happened these past couple of months. The world kind of turned upside down, not really. But anyway, so because of all this, I took a step back. I really, thought to myself, what should I do, just so, I could be more prepared. I know this might not ever happen again, or it could. And it really didn't affect me too much, but it's always good to be, it's always good to protect yourself more and to be more knowledgeable about what you're doing. So anyway, I started off using Robinhood to invest in stocks, right? Why? Because it's super simple, it's easy, they have a great mobile app system. Honestly, on these videos, I really don't talk trash about anybody, but I just talk about my experience and why I chose to do other things. So, I've used Robinhood for years now, almost since they started, and I have nothing bad to say about them. But one thing that I noticed is that a lot of information on stock trading that they had in their system didn't match up with other higher end systems. And one thing I really liked about Robinhood when I opened up my account was their zero cost for for trading. Because if you buy stocks, I'm gonna keep this all simple. So if you buy stocks, there's usually a fee, unless you have like a lot of money in an account. And usually if you have that money, the price is cut down that you pay when you trade, right? So that cuts into your cost. That cuts in, in the long run. So they call it a commission fee, whatever. So that really attracted me to Robinhood because they had no fee, $0. I could trade, they have a certain limited day, and I could do that and not get penalized, right? And because of this, I grew my money pretty quickly in that, and because their systems were so simple too, I wasn't really confused about what I was doing. I had some information. I studied stocks. I studied investing, on my own time. So I kind of had a strategy on what I wanted to do, but I kind of hit a road bump because, the system was very limited. There was a limited amount of, stocks, bonds, certain things that you could invest in, and that are very important once you read. Last month, I was like, okay, that's it. Let me, study these brokerages. Let me choose a brokerage to move to that could be long-term, in that I don't, because I like consolidating. I like having everything on one platform so I don't get confused, right? And I feel like the less I have going on, the more focused I can be, the better my results in the future. So there was 3 brokerages that I was looking at. There was Charles Schwab, there was Vanguard, and there was Fidelity Investments. Now, when I used to work with my corporate job, I had a 401k with Fidelity Investments, and I also did some trading with them. Very complex system, tons of tools, tons of resources. Again, nothing bad to talk about them. A lot of their mutual funds, their just places that you could put your money had these tremendous fees, right? And trading fees and all these fees, and these fees add up when you're, I'm going to make, time out. If you guys want me to talk about fees, trading fees, any fees, drop a comment down below so that I can explain what these fees are and how they affect you on your long-term investment. Anyway, so I didn't like that, right? So then I narrowed my choices between Vanguard and Charles Schwab. Now, this was pretty tricky. Vanguard had some pretty good index funds that I liked, right? And I also love the founder of Vanguard. And then, so the two things that I narrowed it down to was their interface, the user interface. Which system was better user interface for me? Which one had which system had a good mobile and a good desktop interface? Because I like both. I use both, right? In Vanguard, unfortunately, they lost on this, right? I was hoping they would win, right? I was cheering them on, but when I used it, I actually didn't like it. And then once I used Charles Schwab, they had everything. They had the mobile interface, they had the desktop site, and again, the way they laid everything out was really, really good. So that's how I chose going with Charles Schwab's. Okay, so now why did I choose to go from RobinHood to Charles Schwab's? Let me break it down to you guys. So they both have a $0 trading fee for ETFs. Charles Schwab's does have option trading. RobinHood doesn't. Charles Schwab has mutual funds. RobinHood doesn't. They have trading assistance with brokers. RobinHood doesn't. I don't use that. I don't plan on using that. But if you need help, it can come in handy. And you do pay a price for it, but it's good to know that they have it. Charles Schwab's customer service is insane. It's amazing. It's 24/7. You usually get somebody that speaks English. RobinHood has limited, customer service. And you might not get somebody that speaks English very well. I'm usually pretty good at understanding people, but some people are picky about that. So that's another plus for Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab has banking. RobinHood has, some banking stuff coming up, but not as advanced as Charles Schwab. You could trade futures. There's locations. So if you want to go to a physical location, Charles Schwab has physical locations. Again, so you can trade bonds, indexes, options. You have more charts, PDFs, research with Charles Schwab. And again, in Robinhood, you don't have any of those stuff. Now, for me saying this, yes, Robinhood is very good for somebody that is starting and don't know what to do. Because with Charles Schwab, you might get confused with all this information, right? Again, I always recommend do your research, learn about all this stuff before you dive deep. But if you are going to dive in here, if you're starting to invest, Robinhood is a great place. By no means am I talking trash. Very straightforward. You do everything from your phone. They do have a mobile site too, which is not bad, but it doesn't have as many things to offer as Charles Schwab does. But if you're a little more advanced like me, if you're seeking more strategies, if you know how to read charts, earnings, yields, balance sheets, Charles Schwab is a better place to look at, right? It's definitely good to jump to, and now that they have $0 ETF trading fees, it's a perfect place to be. Now my biggest goal in changing from changing from Robinhood to Charles Schwab is to rebalance all my portfolio. I want to, take a week, hours and hours and study all of the best, ETF funds, bonds, IRAs, Roth IRAs, and just kind of plan out my investing in what I'm going to transfer my money into, so that way I have, the best return on my money. I also want to be very aggressive, right? Even though I'm a very aggressive investor, and it's because I'm young, right? I'm 29 years old. I choose to be this way because I want the most gain possible. Now, once I'm like 45, 50, then yeah, that's a different story. But right now, I just want to be aggressive and grow my money as as much as possible. Yes, but I also want to be safe while doing this. So that's what I'm going to be doing. If you guys want me to drop a video about rebalancing my portfolio or rebalancing your portfolio and what you should do and what you should look at, again, I'm a lifelong learner. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. I'm not Warren Buffett. I wish, right? I knew what he knew, but I'm learning, right? I'm getting better, and I learn from my mistakes. So drop a comment down below if you want me to talk about this. Guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, slap that notification bell, make sure it rings so that whenever I drop another video loaded with information, you guys know. You better subscribe, okay? Anyways, guys, it was great. Till next time, see ya.